Hey there, good morning. My name is Dr. Wes Cottengim. I am your professor for this particular course in EDAD 604. I'm making this video for our summer students. So we have 604-B76, and then we have another section of 604-B75. So wherever you might fall on that, welcome to 604. This particular class is creating a culture of achievement for aspiring school administrators, and some of you might already be school administrators. So wherever you fall, welcome. We hope that there'll be something that you can take from this and apply to your situation. Like I said, my name is Wes Cottengim. I'm an assistant professor of ed administration here at WKU. In each of your courses, we're also going to have a practitioner partner. For the B76 section, Miss Paulitha Butts will be joining us. She'll introduce herself in greater detail, but excuse me, but she currently is an elementary school principal here in Warren County, and she'll be joining us for that. If you are in the B75 group, you will have Dr. Tiffany Marshall joining you as your practitioner partner. She and I just finished a class together, and you will really enjoy learning from her as well. She works at Central Office in Fayette County and is a wealth of knowledge. So if you see me looking back and forth, I've got some notes set up on my screen to make sure I cover all the things that I need to cover today. But I made this video as a tool just to introduce you to the course. First time we meet, we will do a lot more of this in greater detail. But for now, this is serving as a hello, welcome, glad to have you. So as you can tell, this course is about school culture, right? And school culture encompasses a lot of different things. And we will get into all of those different things. But the idea is for this course is for you to get a better idea of your school's culture, of your own viewpoints on culture, and how that will help you when you become your own school leader. You should have access at this point to the course syllabus. You should have access to Blackboard, because all of our assignments and such will be posted in our Blackboard class sections, depending on which one you're in. Within Blackboard, and towards the end, I'm going to try to share my screen and give you a quick rundown of what that might look like. But within that, your syllabus and your schedule are two of your most important things that you need to look at, because this particular course, during a regular semester, it's busy. But in the summer, it's even a little more condensed. So I would encourage you to really stay up on the assignments, on the readings. Feel free to work ahead. We'll talk about all this in greater detail when we meet, but I wanted to go ahead and say that while it was on my mind. In the month of June, well, let me say this. If you're in the B76 group, we are meeting on June 5th, June 12th, and June 26th. Check your syllabus. It'll show all of that, and it'll talk about the different times that we're meeting. If you're in the B75 group, we actually meet 4 times, on June 8th, June 15th, June 22nd, and June 29th. And you might say, well, I maybe want to only meet 3 times versus the 4 times. The amount of time that we're meeting is the exact same. Okay, but I have to work around a number of different schedules to make things work. But I promise you're meeting the exact amount of time when it's all said and done. In this particular course, we will be talking about a number of different things related to school culture. Specifically, we'll be addressing 4 and probably a little bit more, 4 PSEL standards, and those are standards 4, 5, well, 3, 4, 5, and 10. And no doubt we will be scratching the surface of some other ones, but those 4 PSEL standards are specifically what we're going to be talking about. And we'll begin with identifying the core values within your organization. And we're going to push you to examine your own beliefs. Even teaching this course, it pushes me to examine my beliefs when it comes to educating our students, working with our staff members. So I think you'll find that, I hope that you'll walk away from this course with a different perspective. We'll discuss a number of different tools and surveys related to examining your school culture or getting data back on that particular topic. And some of these are things such as the Kentucky Impact Survey, If you're not familiar with that in your school's impact survey results, I would encourage you to go ahead and be looking for that, because that is something we are going to refer to a number of times. And then we'll do some different audits and surveys, such as we're going to do an equity audit of your building. We will do a school culture triage survey of your building. And it'll be unique because because when you all are taking this, you're going to be on summer break. But there still will be some things that you will need to do with your staff, and that could be something just as simple as an email of how you can take care of it. But we'll talk about those things, so don't stress about that. And these tools, they're not just for this course, but when you leave this course, these are things that you can use in your own building. If you were to take over a new building as the leader, these are things that you could certainly use in that role. We also will be talking about stakeholder voice. We'll be talking quite a bit about equity within your buildings and how that relates to culture and how that relates to student learning, achievement, behavior, and so on. We'll be talking about barriers to equity within your building. We're going to take a dive into your PLC process and how it relates to equity within your building. We're going to specifically talk about teacher efficacy, and that's one of my favorite topics, is the idea of efficacy. But so teacher efficacy, collective efficacy. So those will be some things that we dig into in great detail. Towards the end of the course, we will have you'll have assignments, readings, pre-work, post-work, different assignments as we progress. But towards the end, the culminating activities are the capstone presentation, as well as the P-cell analysis and paper. Those are probably your heaviest weighted assignments. And those two assignments relate to your school culture audit. Okay, the different surveys, and actually all of the surveys that I mentioned, you will refer back to those in this culminating activity. But that's how we'll wrap the course up. We will be meeting in June. Okay, so depending on which section you're in as you're listening to this, our class meetings will be in June. In July, we won't have any scheduled class meetings. I do that I really do that for you, so that you have time to work and to get some of this stuff done. I'm available. In the summer, I'm not required to have office hours, but I am absolutely available pretty much anytime. So I'm just an email away or a text away. Reach out to me, and I'm more than willing to help you. And I know that's the same with Dr. Marshall and Mrs. Butts as well. So with all of that being said, that's just a real quick rundown of the topics that we'll be discussing. I would like to share my screen just for a moment, so that just for a second. Okay, here we go. So this time you should be seeing a copy of the Blackboard site. And this site is, give me just a second. Now, if you'll look right here in this corner where my mouse is circling, that's the student preview. So what you're seeing right now is what I see. Okay, so yours is going to look a little bit different. Now, if I go ahead and click on this might be the overall shell of what you would see, but as you can see, there's nothing there right now. And that's because I haven't made those things, as you can see, hidden from students, and so on, because I'm still working on due dates and making sure everything's ready to go before I make it live. But by the time you see this, all of this will be live. But right here is probably the best place to start. Obviously, this is where you would find this video. But this is also where you would find our overview, our syllabus, the schedule for the class. I try to break the schedule up into weeks, so that each week you kind of know what you need to be doing, so you'll stay on track. And then here's some general Blackboard information. Our course is broken up into 3 different modules. So it's a lot of information, but it's quality information. So in module 1, like I mentioned, this is where we really take a self-examination of your school, of you as a leader, being reflective. So within module 1, you will see this is kind of how it's organized. So module 1, and you can see like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on, because we're in module 1. So there'll be an introduction. This will be your very first assignment, student information form, and that's just so that I kind of know a little bit about you. And as you can see, I'm not going to click on each one of these, but you can see here are some of the, we have some pre-work, we'll have some post-work, we'll have some in-class activities. But all of the information that you need is within this particular module underneath each one of these tabs. When we get into module 2, this is where we talk more about equity. It also is organized in a very similar way according to class meetings. Now, if you are in B75, you will see that there's a class meeting 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're in B76, yours will look a little bit different because we only have 3 face-to-face meetings, but it'll still be labeled class meeting 1, 2, 3. But again, here's what module 2 looks like. And you can see there's different field experiences, there's different things that you'll be doing on your own. And again, that's why I give you July to do that. Don't worry about the due dates that you're seeing right there. I have not updated that from the spring semester yet. But by the time you see this, it will be updated. And then lastly, module 3, and this is, again, talking about that efficacy that I mentioned. You're going to read about John Hattie's work and some of the most influential practices for educational leaders. So, and then lastly, here were the 2 culminating activities that I discussed. Here's your program, the PCL assessment, and that's more of a paper, okay? More of a paper that you would turn in, and I'll score that. But the capstone portion is you presenting that information, okay? And that'll be due towards the end of the course. So that's a quick rundown of what your Blackboard looks like. First night of class, we will certainly be talking about each one of those. So we should have some more information by then. Before I let you go, make sure that you have looked at your syllabus, check out the texts. There are 2 texts that are required for this course. The rest are just recommended. Most of them I provide a link at the very least so that you can see it. But if not, let me know. If you run into any issues, let me know, and I'll make sure to help you out. But I'm excited to meet all of you, these 2 different cohorts. I'm excited to meet you. I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited to learn from you. And I hope that you find this very helpful. If you need anything at all, reach out to me or your practitioner partner, and we are more than happy to help. Take care.